Think about it. For a moment, think about an event. For example, a car crash. It can be a life-taking event. You walk out of it considering that you're alive. You go to a surgery, you go to a medical problem. We recently experienced COVID. Those who actually suffer from COVID know, myself, I know that it's a near-death experience. But once you walk out of it, do you still consider that experience apart from its stories? Do you actually take a moment of your daily life and think about it? Oh, what if I would have been dead at that time? Do I have enough virtues and deeds at my position where I can actually go in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say, oh Parvardigare Alam, you wanted me to do these deeds, I performed 90% of them. Let alone I performed 80% of them. If we start just discussing today, Thursday, 12th of October, if we just start discussing today what you have done from once you wake up till this time, you will experience so many events where you could have actually say that, oh, I can actually be punished for something like that for an eternity. I'm not talking about Gunai Kabira, I'm talking about Gunai Saghira. Those small sins that we accumulate in everyday life. Those white lies that get piled up. How are we going to answer ourselves? Because Imam has clearly says that your inner wear is your fear. If you're keeping your fear, if you're being God conscious, if you actually feel the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our lives, then we shouldn't be doing certain things. We shouldn't be actually taking a support of white lies and or any of that. Just because we know the presence of somebody who actually created the entire universe, not just this world. Think about it. Consider yourself, you're one person. Approximately, if we take an average height of a person, it's like, for example, 6'1" is an average height. 6'1", like 6'1", it's an average height. And if we go by sizing the animals in this world, you'll have 18 feet sharks that have been discovered. You have animals that have been discovered that are more than 20 to 25 feet. You have animals that are actually more vicious than you. If you and an alligator are placed in one cage, an alligator will eat you alive within moments. But then again, Parvardigare Alam granted you the attributes of an Ashraful Makhluqat, granting you the aspect of thinking and doing. And then he laid down his principles that how you should actually treat yourself, how you should actually treat your peers, how you should actually treat your family, your kids. It's all related to you. And then again he said, for me you have to pray. We do salat, right? We do salat, but how many times when we are doing salat, we are actually God conscious that, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I am performing this salat for you. And only for the sake that you have asked me to perform this salat. We don't do that. We perform salat and we're like, oh, can I get a car? Can I get a home? Can I get a better life? This life is about to end. You think 60, 70 years is a big journey? Think about it. Human history is more than 6,000 years ago. Just take a step back. Look at the aspect of when life actually started up till now. It is said that it's been more than 4,000 to 5,000 years ago when life actually started. The documented aspect of it, okay, granted, 4,000 or 5,000 years ago, life actually started. 4,000 or 5,000 years ago. That includes how many generations? Just think about that. 1,400 years ago, 14 to 1,500 years ago, Rasulullah came to this world. 14 to 1,500 years ago. There are 15 centuries in between, right? he preached a message. He preached a message for our Islah. He gave us a concept of God, how to be God conscious. And we still do not pursue that up to what is demand from us. And we always say in our prayers that, O Parvardigare Alam, let our Imam come and we will vouch for him. There were 72 in Karbala who were God conscious, and there were approximately 900,000 that were not God conscious. Think about the math for a second. 72 in Karbala that were God conscious. We still commemorate Karbala. We still share our hearts, cry our hearts out for the Shuhada of Karbala. Those 72 people were God conscious. We don't want to be the part of those 900,000 who weren't God conscious, who were just here for this world. Think about it. We say, O Parvardigare Alam, let our Imam come. Are we God conscious enough? Are we actually God conscious enough to say that, oh Imam, we are here for you? No. If we would have been, the Zahur of Imam would have been taken place. We are not God conscious. It's not the Imam's Zahur is being delayed. It's our Amal that is actually delaying the Imam's Zahur. So, what do? How do we approach a life? The best way to live this life is to actually see the Ahlul Bayt. Salawat bheje Muhammad wal. The best way to see how to live this life. And if you just see the servants of Ahlul Bayt, there is a saying that Maulai Kainat asked Kambar, how do you actually see death? Kambar said, if a death comes to me and I'm on your wilayat, it doesn't matter if it happens today or if it happens hundreds of years ago. It doesn't happen that. I'm not worried about that. If that is too much, look at the saying of Imam's Hassan's son, Hazrat Qasim. What does he say about death? He says, I consider, if I'm on haq, I consider death to be sweeter than honey. Sweeter than honey. That only happens when you have God consciousness in your life, up to the point when you go to sleep for the will of Allah, you wake up for the will of Allah. That is what you actually are asked for from Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. It's not easy to just say that, oh, I believe in Islam. Okay, you believe in Islam. What do you believe? Do you believe in Day of Judgment? Yes, I do believe in Day of Judgment. So do you still lie? How can you consider yourself? How can you consider yourself be lying at the same time say that, oh, you actually believe on the Day of Judgment? No, my brother, you do not. Either you have forgotten what the Day of Judgment is, or what was preached to you, or you're simply being ignorant. In either cases, Beshak Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ghafurur Rahim. Beshak, without a doubt. But in either cases, you are making sure that you announce by your action that you do not believe in Qiyamah. You understanding my point? Is there anybody over here who can actually say that, oh, I'm so pious that I can actually contact Imam Zamana? None of us can say that. Or is there anybody who can say that I did not committed any sin today? I'm just asking today, not like this year or your entire life, just today. Can you say, is there anybody who can actually say that, oh, I have not committed any sin? Knowingly or unknowingly, you are going to sin. But Parvardigare Alam says that we know you're going to sin. How many times you do astaghfar is upon you. The astaghfar is on you. The aspect of astaghfar is on you. That is the essence. If you look at Ahlul Bayt, how they treat one another, how they treat within the family. It's ironic. It's so much God. You can actually see कि रिश्तों में God consciousness है. If you look at the relationship between Bibi Sakina and Hazrat Abbas Alamdar. Hazrat Abbas Alamdar is one of those personalities in Islam that every person used to say that he is one of the most courageous person. Everybody used to believe in his courage and his zeal and his aspects and his strategy. And yet again, it has been seen from Medina to Kufa and from Medina to Makkah and from Makkah to Karbala. He goes again and again to the mehmil in which Bibi Sakina is present and asks, "Oh Bibi, if you need anything from my side." There are sayings that Hazrat Abbas used to favor Bibi Sakina, so much so even upon his own kids. That is the relation. And on 10th of Muharram, when Bibi Sakina asked, when she raised the voice for Allah Tash, it was one of those moments Hazrat Abbas actually came to Imam Hussain and said, "Aka, mujhe ijazat dijiye. Please give me the permission to bring water to your camps." Hazrat Abbas went to collect water for Bibi Sakina. He didn't went to fight a war. He didn't go to actually oppose anybody. He just went to be a sakka, to get water for a 4-year-old child. When Shahadat Hazrat Abbas took place, after that Bibi Sakina never asked for water. It was as if that she never can actually experience thirst without her uncle. There were times in Maqtal you would see that Bibi Zainab is actually asking Bibi Sakina to drink few sips of water, and Bibi Sakina always asks, "Did my uncle return from Furat?" You know, when Hazrat Abbas ka alam jab Furat pe pahuncha hai na, when he was coming back, Hazrat Ali Akbar was narrating the whole situation, how his alam is coming. And Hazrat Ali Akbar said to one point, "Baba, I cannot see the alam of Hazrat Abbas Alamdar." When that happened, Maula Imam Hussain rushed towards Hazrat Abbas. When he reached a point when he saw a bazu, he collected it. Then he reached another point when another bazu was cut it for Hazrat Abbas' side. He collected that. And when he reached on Hazrat Abbas' body, he saw an arrow in one eye and blood in another one. And my Maula asked, "Oh Abbas, tell me what you want." Hazrat Abbas actually placed 2 wishes. One, "Oh Aka, when I came to this world, I took your ziyarat. I saw your face first. I want to see, when I'm departing from this world, I want to see your face again." So Imam Hussain actually cleared the blood from his eye. And the second request that he said, "Oh Aka, I promised Bibi Sakina, the 4-year-old daughter of yours, I promised her that I'll return with water. Oh Aka, the mashkiza has been snatched. The water has been drained out of mashkiza. Aka, I do not want you to take my body from the plains of Karbala to the banks of Furat to your khayma. I do not want to be the one who says that, Bibi, I came back to khayma without water. I do not want to be in that position. Aga, please leave my body here. It's my wasiyat to leave my body here." That's the reason whenever Bibi Sakina used to say, Bibi Zainab used to say, "Oh Sakina, drink water," Bibi Sakina used to ask, "Did my chacha return from the banks of Karbala? Did my chacha return from the banks of Karbala?" Azadaro, when my baby was actually taken to Kufa and from Kufa to Sham, she used to say one thing, "Oh Ashkia, if my uncle would have been alive, nobody would have dared to touch me like what you have done to me. Nobody would have dared to slap me. Nobody would have dared to take my bourgeois." And that was one moment when in Sham, my baby actually goes out of this world. When she dies in Sham, when the Qafla comes to Karbala again, on Arba'in, when they come back on the plains of Karbala, the Daro, there are two graves where Bibi Zainab actually gave the pursa of Bibi Sakina. One is to the father, Imam Hussein. The other one is to that chacha, to that uncle for whom his niece was everything, and for the niece, the uncle was everything. The rishta between Bibi Sakina and Maula Hazrat Abbas is so evident that you can see that भतीजी चचा के बगैर नहीं रह सकती और चचा भतीजी के बगैर नहीं रह सकते. एक मर्तबा जब मेरी बीवी ने गिरिया किया है ना, तो गिरिये में ये भी शामिल है, मख्तल में ये भी मिलता है कि अब्बास मैं सकीना को शाम में छोड़ के आ रही हूँ. हाय अब्बास, जब तक तुम जिंदा थे किसी की मजाल न थी कि सकीना के गोशवारे छीन सके, हमारे चरसरों से चादरें छीन सके. अब्बास, जब तक तुम मौजूद रहे ये अश्किया जो थे ये चैन से न सोते थे. बेशक इमाम हुसैन ने सही कहा था. जब मेरा मौला अब्बास इस दुनिया से गया ना, मेरे मौला ने फरमाया था कि वो आंखें जो रात में चैन से सोया करती थी अब वो जागा करेंगी, और वो अश्किया जो रात में जागा करते थे अब वो चैन से सोया करेंगे. कि हरम इमाम हुसैन तक रसाई रखते हैं. अल्लाह लानतुल्लाह कौम ज़ालिमीन. मातम हुसैन. परवरदिगार आलम, हमारी इस कलील सी इबादत को अपनी बारगाह में कबूल फरमा. परवरदिगार आलम, हम सबको give us the aspect of God consciousness that we were discussing today in our lives, so we can actually be falling on to those attributes which our Imam Waqt actually wants us to fall through. Parvardigar Alam, make us the loyal and most trustworthy ghulams of Imam Zamana. Parvardigar Alam, make sure that our Imam is secure, make sure his enemies are destroyed and they're diluted from this world. Parvardigar Alam, hasten in the appearance and reappearance of our Imam Zamana. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا نبي الله، السلام عليك يا حبيب الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا وارث آدم صفوة الله، السلام عليك يا وارث نوح نبي الله، السلام عليك يا وارث إبراهيم خليل الله، السلام عليك يا وارث موسى كليم الله، السلام عليك يا وارث عيسى روح الله، السلام عليك يا وارث محمد بن حبيب الله، السلام عليك يا وارث أمين المؤمنين عليه السلام ولي الله، السلام عليك يا ابن محمد بن المصطفى، السلام عليك يا ابن علي المرتضى، السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء، السلام عليك يا ابن خديجة الكبرى، السلام عليك يا شعر الله وابن شعره والبدر الموضوع، أشهد أنك قد أقمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونهيت عن المنكر وطاعت الله ورسوله حتى أتاك اليقين، فلعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك ورضيت به. يا مولاي يا معبد الله، أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأسفار الشامخة والأرحام المطهرة، لم تنجس الجاهلية بأنجاسها ولم تلبس من متهمات ثيابها، وأشهد أنك من دعائم الدين الله وملائكته وأنبياءه ورسله أني بكم مؤمن بكم موقن بشرع الدين وخواتيم عملي وقلبي لقلبكم مسلم وأمري لأمركم متبع صلوات الله عليكم وعلى أرواحكم وعلى أجسادكم وعلى أجسامكم وعلى شاهدكم وعلى غائبكم وعلى ظاهركم وعلى باطنكم. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك يا ابن نبي الله، السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا ابن الحسين الشهيد، السلام عليك أيها الشهيد وابن الشهيد، السلام عليك أيها المظلوم وابن المظلوم. لعن الله أمة قتلته ولعن الله أمة ظلمته ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. السلام عليكم يا أولياء الله وأحباءه، السلام عليكم يا أصفياء الله وأعداءه، السلام عليكم يا أنصار دين الله، السلام عليكم يا أنصار رسول الله، السلام عليكم يا أنصار أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليكم يا أنصار فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين، السلام عليكم يا أنصار محمد الحسن علي الولي الزكي الناصح، السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي عبد الله بأبي أنتم وأمي طبتم وطابت الأرض التي فيها دفنتم وفزتم فوزا عظيما، ويا ليتني كنت معكم فأفوز معكم. السلام عليك يا أبا الفضل العباس بن أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا ابن سيد المرسلين، السلام عليك يا ابن أول القوم إسلاما وأقدمهم إيمانا وأقومهم بدين الله وحرتهم على الإسلام. أشهد لك نصرت لله ولرسوله ولأهلك مصنع والأخوة الموازن. ولعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة استحلت منك المحارم وانتهكت الإسلام. فنعم الصابر المجاهد المحامي الناصر وله الدافع النخيل المجيب إلى طاعة ربه الراغب فيما زيد فيه غيره من الثواب الجزيل والثناء الجميل، ولتذكرنا بدرجتنا آبائك في جنات النعيم. السلام عليكم يا صداقي ومالي أجمعين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك بصف المعصومين من ذرية المسلمين عليه السلام، علي بن المسلمين زين العابدين ومحمد بن علي الباقر وجعفر بن محمد الصادق وموسى جعفر القادم وعلي بن موسى الله ومحمد بن علي التقي والجواد وعلي بن محمد الحارث النقي والحسن بن علي الأسد. السلام عليك حجة الله بن الحسن أصحاب الرسول الزمان سيدي يا أمان من فتنة الزمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن، السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا كعبة الإيمان، السلام عليك يا إمامنا وإمام الإنس والجان. أجل الأعضاء على فرجك وسهل الأعضاء على مخرجك وظهورك وجعلنا من أعوانك والأنصار